Hello, and welcome back to Podcasts with Ali and Aiza, the place to be if you want to sound more natural, more confident, and more like a native speaker when you use English. I'm Ali, and of course, I have my brilliant co-host Aiza here with me today. Aiza, how are you actually feeling right this minute?
Ali, that is a great question to start with. I'm feeling really upbeat today. The sun is out and we're recording this fantastic episode, so I'm just full of positive energy. What about you? What's your emotional landscape looking like this morning?
I love that phrase, emotional landscape. I'm feeling pretty content, which is a great word for our listeners. It means satisfied and quietly happy. I'm not jumping up and down, but I'm definitely not feeling stressed. I'd say I'm in a good place. And that leads us perfectly into today's big topic, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. Today, we're doing a deep dive into emotional English. That is, how to talk about your feelings in a detailed, natural, and confident way. Because, let's be honest, everyone learns, I am fine, thank you. But that's like using a black and white television in a 4K world, right? We want to give you the full spectrum of color.
Exactly. English speakers use so many different words and phrases to describe their mood, and using them helps you connect with people on a much deeper level. We're going to cover the essential structures, the common emotions, and how to respond when others share their feelings. So let's dive right in and start with those basic structures.
So, Ali, the first thing people ask is, when do I say I am happy? And when do I say, I feel happy? Is there a difference?
That is the cornerstone question. And here is the simple conversational answer for our listeners. Most of the time, there is no major difference. You can use them interchangeably. I'm happy and I feel happy both sound perfectly correct, especially in casual conversation. You don't need to stress about choosing the right one.
However, there is a subtle distinction we should mention. We usually use I am when we're describing something more like a state of being, maybe a long-term mood or a description of your character. For example, I am a calm person. You wouldn't really say, I feel a calm person, would you? That sounds a little strange.
Right. Or if I've just finished a long, difficult task, I'd say, I am exhausted. That feeling of exhaustion is now my current state. It's a fact of the moment.
And we often use I feel when we want to emphasize the internal, changeable experience, or when we are using a physical symptom to describe an emotion. Think about it. You say, I feel a little nervous about the presentation. That nervous feeling is what's going on inside you right now. Or, I feel dizzy. That's a physical feeling.
That's a helpful way to think about it. And listeners, remember this key rule. You will almost always use an adjective after both I am and I feel. For example, happy, tired, nervous. You wouldn't usually say I am happiness. You would say, I am happy. Let's keep that in mind as we introduce our new vocabulary.
Okay, Ali, let's start with the good stuff. Positive feelings. We all know happy, but let's give our audience some much more natural and engaging alternatives. Because honestly, if someone asks how you are and you had a fantastic weekend, just saying I'm happy doesn't quite capture it.
You're right. Let's start with a nice, strong alternative. Thrilled. If you're thrilled, you are extremely happy and excited, maybe even a little over the top. For example, I was thrilled when I got the concert tickets. I practically jumped out of my seat.
That's a great one. And another fantastic word that's common in everyday conversation is delighted. It's a very positive, polite word to use for happy situations, maybe things that are slightly formal but still very pleasant. You could say, I'm delighted to meet you, or my parents were delighted that I came home for the holiday.
And for our listeners who want to sound super relaxed and casual, you need to learn this phrase, I'm in a good mood. This is what native speakers say all the time. It just means you're feeling cheerful and pleasant. You could say, I finally finished my big project, so I'm in a good mood for the rest of the day.
Oh, in a good mood is a total must-know. And we should introduce a fun, informal idiom here, Allie. When someone is extremely happy, like they've won the lottery or just had amazing news, we can say they are walking on air. It means they feel so happy that their feet barely touch the ground.
That's so visual, walking on air. Listeners, try to visualize that feeling. My friend got a promotion yesterday and she's absolutely walking on air. It's a very natural way to describe extreme happiness. So, to recap our positives, we have thrilled, delighted, in a good mood, and walking on air. Try to use one of these instead of happy this week.
Now for the other side of the coin, because not every day is a walking on air day. Let's talk about that feeling of being overly busy or tired. Instead of just saying, I'm tired, let's use a stronger word, like exhausted. It means extremely, incredibly tired.
I've been feeling a bit exhausted lately because I've been running every morning before work. I love the exercise, but I'm totally drained by the afternoon. Drained is another great word here. It means all your energy has been pulled out of you like water from a sink.
That's a great example. Drained is much more descriptive than tired. And what about when the tiredness is because of too many things to do, not just physical work? That's where the word stressed comes in. If you are stressed, you feel worried and tense because of difficult circumstances or deadlines.
I think everyone can relate to feeling stressed. I feel stressed when I have 3 meetings in a row and a big report due at the end of the day. And when you're very, very stressed, you might feel overwhelmed. Overwhelmed means you have so much to do that you feel mentally crushed by the sheer volume of it all, like you can't handle it all.
You just used two perfect phrases there, Allie. My plate is full is a great metaphor. It means you have too much work, or I can't handle it all. Listeners, you can say, I feel completely overwhelmed by the number of emails I have to answer. This clearly communicates your state of mind without sounding like you're complaining too much. You're simply stating a fact about your mental state.
And a final word for this section, worn out. This is a great casual way to say you are tired and perhaps a little bit stressed. It suggests that continuous effort has worn you out, like an old shoe. I had a very long day helping my friend move house. I feel totally worn out. It's easy to say and very natural.
Let's move on to the interesting area between positive and negative, which is the feeling of anticipation. We talked about excited, which is very happy about the future. But sometimes when we look to the future, we also feel a bit anxious.
Anxious is a very useful word. It's stronger than just worried. It suggests a persistent feeling of unease or worry about what might happen. A lot of people feel anxious before they travel because they worry about missing the plane or losing their passport.
And when you are anxious, you might feel restless. That means you can't sit still. You are constantly moving or shifting, maybe tapping your foot or playing with your hands. That's the physical manifestation of anxiety. I'm so restless waiting for the exam results. I keep walking around the apartment.
That's a great Aiza. Now, let's talk about a feeling that comes up in arguments or disagreements. Frustrated. You feel frustrated when you're trying to do something, but you keep running into obstacles and you can't achieve your goal.
Yes, I get incredibly frustrated when the internet is slow and I'm trying to download a big file. It's not quite angry, but it's close. It's that feeling of impatience and annoyance.
Exactly. And for a slightly less intense feeling, we have upset. Upset is a very general word for feeling unhappy, disappointed, or slightly angry. It's an emotional catch-all. If someone is crying, you would say they are upset. If they are mad because a restaurant messed up their order, you could also say they are upset.
It's a perfect default word when you don't want to specify if someone is sad or angry. You just know they are not happy. So you can say, he was a little upset when his team lost the game. It's simple, clear, and very common. So in this section, we covered anxious, restless, frustrated, and upset. These are essential for talking about real-life situations.
Let's now shift our focus entirely to conversation strategies. Your friend just told you some wonderful news. Maybe they got a new job or their favorite soccer team won the championship. They say, I'm absolutely thrilled. How do you respond naturally?
You need enthusiasm. The simplest and most heartfelt response is, that's fantastic, or that's wonderful news. It's direct, positive, and easy. But you can also sound more casual by saying, no way, that's amazing. The phrase no way here doesn't mean you doubt them. It means you're surprised and excited for them.
That's a great piece of casual English. And if you want to emphasize how happy you are for them, you use the structure we talked about earlier. I am so happy for you. It's simple, but it's always genuine and appropriate. It tells them their good news makes you feel good too.
Another common conversational phrase is, you must be walking on air. By repeating that idiom, you show you understand the depth of their happiness. It's a very natural way to connect. Or, if they're very excited about something they're going to do, you can say, that's going to be great. This shows support and anticipation.
So the takeaway here is to match their energy. If they use a strong word like delighted or thrilled, don't just say, that's good. Say, seriously? That's brilliant. Use strong, positive adjectives in your reply.
Now for the tougher responses, dealing with negative emotions. When someone is feeling stressed, exhausted, or frustrated, the key is empathy. Empathy means showing that you understand how they feel, even if you haven't experienced it yourself.
The most common and immediate response when someone shares they are struggling is, oh no, I'm so sorry to hear that. We don't say, I'm sorry for you. We say, I'm sorry to hear that. It's polite and caring. But we have some even more conversational phrases.
Absolutely. When a friend says, I'm totally overwhelmed with work right now, you can reply with a short, powerful phrase, I hear you. That simple phrase, I hear you, means I understand and I acknowledge what you are saying. It is super common and very comforting.
Or, if you've had a similar experience, you can use the phrase, I can only imagine. Or even better, that sounds really tough. If your friend tells you they were anxious about their presentation, saying, that sounds really tough is a perfect supportive response.
And here's a phrase that's very modern and casual. That's a mood. If your friend says, I'm so drained, I think I'll just sleep all weekend, you can reply, oh yeah, that's a mood. It's slang, meaning, I totally understand that feeling. I've been there too. Just save that one for friends, maybe not for your boss.
Good advice. And finally, when you sense deep sadness or disappointment, it's important to open the door for more conversation. Instead of giving advice, try asking, is there anything I can do to help? Or do you want to talk about it? These are very respectful ways to show support when someone is upset or disappointed.
Let's move on to some of those subtle, important emotions that will really make your English sound sophisticated. The first one is relieved. You feel relieved when a worry or anxiety suddenly goes away.
It's a wonderful feeling. You feel relieved when you find your keys after losing them or when you finish a very difficult test. The danger is over and your anxiety has been relieved. You can also use the phrase, I feel a huge weight off my shoulders when you are relieved. It's a great idiom.
That's a fantastic idiom. The opposite of feeling relieved is maybe feeling disappointed. You feel disappointed when something you hoped for doesn't happen, or when someone fails to meet your expectations.
For example, I was really disappointed when my vacation was canceled because of bad weather. I had planned it for months. You can use the word in a milder way too, like, I was disappointed with the movie. It wasn't as good as I hoped.
Next, let's talk about homesick. If you are homesick, you miss your home, your family, or your friends very much. This is a common feeling for people studying or working far away from their country.
It's a specific kind of sadness mixed with longing. You can say, I've been feeling a bit homesick lately, or the weather is so different here, it makes me feel homesick for the sun. It's one word, but it describes a complex feeling very efficiently.
And finally, a great word for when you're very interested in something: fascinated. If you are fascinated, you are extremely interested in something, and you want to know all the details.
It's a wonderful feeling. You feel relieved when you find your keys after losing them, or when you finish a very difficult test. The danger is over, and your anxiety has been relieved. You can also use the phrase, I feel a huge weight off my shoulders, when you are relieved. It's a great idiom.
That's a fantastic idiom. The opposite of feeling relieved is maybe feeling disappointed. You feel disappointed when something you hoped for doesn't happen, or when someone fails to meet your expectations.
For example, I was really disappointed when my vacation was canceled because of bad weather. I had planned it for months. You can use the word in a milder way too, like, I was disappointed with the movie. It wasn't as good as I hoped.
Next, let's talk about homesick. If you are homesick, you miss your home, your family, or your friends very much. This is a common feeling for people studying or working far away from their country.
It's a specific kind of sadness mixed with longing. You can say, I've been feeling a bit homesick lately. Or, the weather is so different here, it makes me feel homesick for the sun. It's one word, but it describes a complex feeling very efficiently.
And finally, a great word for when you're very interested in something: fascinated. If you are fascinated, you are extremely interested in something and you want to know all the details.
I'm fascinated by how artificial intelligence works. I could read about it all day. Or if you're reading a book, you might say, I was so fascinated by the story that I couldn't put the book down. It's a strong, sophisticated word, but it's very useful in everyday English when describing your interests.
Now that we have covered the key emotional vocabulary, let's talk about how to make these words stronger. We call these intensifiers. They are short words you put before an adjective to increase its power.
This is essential for sounding natural. We use these all the time. Instead of just saying, I am happy, you can use words like very, really, or incredibly. For example, I am incredibly relieved that the storm passed.
Yes, incredibly and extremely work well for almost any emotion. But for strong, positive feelings like excited or thrilled, we often use absolutely. I am absolutely delighted to be here with you, Ali.
And for negative feelings like angry or frustrated, we use totally or completely. If you are tired, you can say, I am completely exhausted after that marathon. Completely emphasizes the totality of the exhaustion.
Here are a few quick pairs for you, listeners, using an intensifier. Instead of saying, I am tired, say, I am utterly drained. Instead of saying, I am worried, say, I am seriously anxious. Instead of saying, I am happy, say, I am truly content. Using these intensifiers adds flavor and precision to your language. Don't be afraid to experiment with them.
Wow, Aiza, we have covered so many feelings and conversational strategies in this single episode. This includes
thrilled, drained, overwhelmed, restless, frustrated, relieved, disappointed, homesick, and fascinated.
And we gave you those crucial conversational phrases for showing empathy. I hear you, that sounds really tough, and I can only imagine. These phrases are what make conversations flow naturally.
So it's time for our final challenge. It's a two-part challenge that combines everything we learned today.
Ready, listeners? Challenge number 1. For the next 24 hours, stop using the word fine when someone asks how you are. Replace it with a more specific word from our list. Even if you are just okay, say, I'm content, thanks, or I'm a little worn out, actually.
And challenge number 2. The next time a friend or colleague tells you a strong feeling, positive or negative, don't just say, that's good or that's bad. Use one of our empathetic response phrases. If they sound excited, say, you must be walking on air. If they sound tired, say, I hear you. That sounds really tough.
Practicing these words and responses is the single best way to improve your English fluency and connect with people. Remember, you can listen to this episode as many times as you need to. Hearing the words used in natural dialogue is the key to mastering them.
Thank you so much for joining us for this special episode on emotional English. We hope you feel incredibly relieved and excited about your improved vocabulary.
We certainly do. From all of us here at Podcasts with Ali and Aiza, keep practicing, keep learning, and keep sharing your feelings. Until next time, bye for now.
Goodbye, everyone.